Hi, this is Brian Otten, Marketing Director with the Greater Wausau Chamber of Commerce. I am here at Imperial Industries in Rothschild with Amber Gober, a recipient of the ATHENA Award last year, to interview Laura Strek. And Laura is a finalist for the ATHENA Award in 2024. So Amber, Laura, take it away.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, Laura, thanks for having us here at Imperial Industries, and congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
You want to start out by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, Laura Strek, I am the CFO of Rothschild and Imperial Industries. So I can work for both of these companies because they're owned by the Kresge family. It has been an honor to work for them and the board of directors. They really have supported me, but they're very charitable in the community, and they really focus on their employees. So that's been amazing. I will also say an exciting part in my role is both of these companies are they're leaders in their industries. So again, as a CFO, that becomes a really fun part. So it's very exciting.
Absolutely. So, and I know that, the Kresge name is big in the community, so it's probably great that they have your support and are behind you in all this as well.
Yeah.
So, perfect. Well, can you share an example of a time you advocated fiercely for yourself, another person, or a cause?
Oh, so I think that I've always advocated for myself. I grew up with this family that really believed in hard work ethic. And so if you wanted something, you were going to have to earn it or get a job and pay for it. So that really meant paying for college as well. So during college, I worked a full-time job while going to school full-time.
Wow.
It's kind of made me who I am. But I would say like the defining moment of advocating for myself is in my late 20s. I was a controller for a company owned by private equity, and the chief financial officer position was available. So really what that meant is I was doing all of the work. But I knew that if I did not ask for the position, I was going to be overlooked. I was quite young. And so I stepped up and I asked the president that I was ready. And, his response was interesting at the time, but I get it now. He didn't know that I was interested. Private equity had to fly and go to New York often and be gone away from, I was a young married with one young child, and, was my husband going to be okay with that? And thankfully he really was, and has continued to support me today. But they took a leap on me. And so I was in my late 20s as CFO, and really thankful for that. But I did realize if you don't advocate for yourself, things don't happen. And so if I wouldn't have asked, it wouldn't have happened. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's such a great point to bring out to other, people that are listening and that, may not know your story is, if you don't speak up, nobody else is going to do it on your behalf.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, perfectly great.
So can you share an example of how you've acted courageously?
Yeah. So, I guess I would define courageous as doing what's right when it's not comfortable or easy. In my role, I think that's my job description daily.
And now speaking in front of the camera.
Yeah, really fun. Yes. No, I mean, we have to make really difficult decisions that impact a lot of lives, and they're not always easy or popular. And you also have to build teams and grow them and execute with those teams. So I think when I was young, I joined these teams, and there I am, this young woman, all males at the table, and most of the time they had industry experience of more years than I was old. That was very common back then, and gotten better at that now. But how I built those relationships is I would say, okay, please give me your industry experience, and I'm going to bring my private equity, and let's merge it together for a plan. That sounds so easy. Not that it was, but what I found is if we had this transparent relationship where we could have honest feedback, we really grew strong and really knew how to be a good team. So I think you have to be able to be courageous enough to do that. So we have to give feedback to our employees, to our peers, and to our boss. So that type of communication, I would say honesty without tact is cruelty. So we owe the feedback, but we have to do it in a very constructive way. And then all of a sudden, there's this chemistry where a team executes. And not only are we having fun, but we together have each other's back. And it's something that I think everyone has to be courageous to do that, not me. But if we can all be courageous, it is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not only just giving the feedback, but it's also then receiving it as well.
Absolutely.
And being able to grow it. And sometimes that's the hardest part, is knowing that you get that feedback and you're like, wow, I really wasn't expecting that. But then being able to take that feedback and grow with it from there.
Absolutely.
Forward.
I actually ask my teams that work for me, please be courageous and tell me how I can do better. And I think that that's the thing that they like, is I leave the stripes at the door and I'm like, okay, tell me what I can do better. And they've embraced that. Often someone comes in and be like, I really don't think you handled that well. Someone told me I had maybe a not pleasant face today. And I'm like, I probably didn't. I probably had my mind somewhere else. And thank you for pointing that out.
Yep. Sometimes it's just opening up those eyes a little bit.
Exactly.
So, perfect. Can you share an example of a time that you brought another woman into a leadership position on a project or cause? And what did you learn from that experience?
I think I've been really, really lucky to watch people grow. I've been in leadership a long time, and it's my favorite thing. I like watching businesses grow, but people grow too. Women especially, obviously. But I will say, as I brought these people into leadership, they've taught me as much as I've taught them. But so I had a woman who was a financial analyst, young, and had never really managed people, but she had a great systems background. So I put her in a role and responsibility, and she is knocking it out of the park. In fact, now she's our controller. She really embraced the guidance, the feedback, adapting, obviously smart, she has the skills, young in her journey, but she is going to just go really, really far. But I also had another marketing person who really could do more, but was scared to do more or not ready maybe. And I pushed her to go outside of her comfort zone. And now she's a chief operating officer of a startup. And we still collaborate today. Gosh, I have a lot of phone calls with her. But that's where that feedback comes back, right? What I've learned is as we go on our journeys, we're learning from everyone. They're learning from us. And we're really all learning. It's not me doing something. We're all doing it. So it's amazing.
And I think that's key too, of, somebody believed in you and now you have to kind of pay it forward to those others that you're working with and, are looking for some guidance or maybe some help to get the next, step in the door.
It's really rewarding, really,
It is.
when you're a part of either side.
Absolutely. So, and lastly, can you share some examples of how you serve others in our community?
Yeah. So, okay, we have a great community, but what it takes is everybody giving back. So obviously it's important. Today, the biggest thing I'm a part of is Central Wisconsin Manufacturing Alliance. So I'm the finance chair, and most people who know of this organization, they think of Heavy Metal Tour, and you have all these 8th graders that get on buses and go see all of the local businesses, and how amazing, right? They have an opportunity to see what they might be interested in someday and start to think about that. But I've also told we're going to do United Way this year. First time, I don't know if ever, but
That's
for
awesome.
at least as long as anyone can remember that I've talked to. So super excited to give back on that way. And then on a personal level, I've got kids in sports, and I think sports make teammates and not individuals. And I love that. Usually because I'm an accountant, they ask me to be a treasurer, but
of course,
always I get asked to be treasurer more than anything, but I'm also on committees and I help them. So I do that. But if I were to really think of how I give back, is kind of what you were talking about. If I get a call from one of these relationships that I've built over the years or we've built, I answer that call, and I know they would answer my call. And I think if I can give back, they can give back. And so I am always here, and they know I'm always here, and it's a pretty amazing thing. So I feel really honored to be in those relationships.
Well, thank you for everything that you do in our community. I know it's not always the easiest thing, especially when you have kids, to be able to make that extra time to be able to do those things. So,
thank you.
Laura, we appreciate you doing the interview today. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I guess I'm really honored, but more so humbled by this experience. So really much appreciated the nomination and all the time everyone's putting into this.
Well, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great conversation, great interview, Amber and Laura. Thank you for taking the time to do that. Thanks to all the finalists and to the previous recipients who participated in these interviews. This is 13 for 13, so this is the last one. If you missed any of the previous interviews, they're all available on the Chamber's Facebook page. They're also will be available by tomorrow morning on the Chamber's YouTube channel. We invite you to learn more about the ATHENA Awards program by visiting wasachamber.com. It's a great program. It'll be coming up at lunchtime on Thursday, November 21st. Really a nice opportunity to recognize some great local leaders. So we encourage you to visit our site, register for a seat or maybe a table at that event, and we hope to see you there. Laura, thank you. Amber, thanks for all your help this week, and thanks for everybody that's been watching.